Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we got a great one for you today. Somebody asked what's the easiest way of making a landing page with Divi. So I've come up with this little landing page here. We've got a little menu, we can scroll to sections, little services section, mission section, little testimonial section, and of course a little contact. And we want to go back to the top there. Really easy to do, and you should be able to build this whole thing in about less than 30 minutes. So I'm going to presume that you've got Divi installed already. Once there, let's get a new page going. Let's give it a name. I'm going to call mine Tech Landing Page, or Tech Landing will do. Obviously I'm going to use the Divi builder. Great. Well, we're not going to build from scratch today. That's what we usually do in these videos. We're going to use one of their layouts. They've got a lot of layouts. Just hit the Browse Layouts button. This will be the quickest way of doing things. Choose your sort of category. And hopefully there's one that you like there. I think I used this one before. Just go to whichever layout you like. Left click. There's the landing page right there. I'm going to click on it, make sure it's in the preview window. You can do a live demo by hitting this little button. It'll give you a live demo of it so you can check it out. And if you're happy, hit the use this layout button. Well, that took about a minute and it's popped up here. Great, you're all good to go. End of video. Well done. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, I've got my logo in there. I'll show you how to put your logo in there. We've created a menu so it scrolls to the section. And of course, you're going to want to put in your own content here. Well, the first thing, let's show you how to put your logo in. I've already got mine in there. Very easy. Go down to your dashboard. Down to Divi. I'm going to go to Theme Options. We're under the General tab here. And you'll find Logo at the top. Let's reset it, or let's upload a new one. I'm going to hit the upload button. Hopefully my logo is here somewhere. There it is right there. It's a white one because I've got a transparent header on mine. Set as logo. Once you've got it in there, hit your save changes. You're good to go. Now you won't see any difference here because it's the same logo. Okay, we've got our Visual Builder loaded. So we can go down there. We've got a purple tab, that's a full width section there. We've got a dark tab for a module right there. Of course, you're going to want to put in your own writing, and it couldn't be easier again. Just go in there, put your cursor to the left of it, delete, put in whatever it is you want to put in yours. Put in the services that you want. Now, if you're making this and you haven't got much of an idea of the content you want to put in, go to ChatGPT. It's absolutely amazing. And I said 20 words on IT services. Pop it in there. And there it is. Make sure it applies to whatever it is you're making. Copy whatever amount of it you want on your site. I think I'll take all of that. We'll go back to our site here. And again, you can select it. And just paste that straight in there like that. And although I wouldn't recommend it for everything, if you're stuck and you don't have things to say and you're building this for a demo, perhaps for an IT company, you can go in there, say perhaps 20 words about laptops. We did exactly the same here in that little one there. And we'll copy that, and again put in as much or as little as you want in yours. Make sure it pertains to your services, obviously. Again, just select it, paste it in there. Add and remove as much or as little as you want. Edit it how you want, and you're good to go. Couldn't be easier. Now, some of these things, this one obviously we've got a dark background on there. It's got an image and an overlay. The overlay itself's in the module. The image is in the actual section itself. Now at the moment I've got my main header here set to be transparent, and to do that, go down to your desktop, go to Customize. That'll take you to this page. Go down to Header and Navigation. If you go down a primary menu bar, it's the one we've got here. If we roll on down, background color, it had a color. All you do is click on it. I've got this checkered slider here all the way to the bottom, which is transparent. If I bring it back up, you'll see it brings it in with the color there. I've got a light colored logo, so you won't see it. So I've got mine set to transparent there if you want to do yours transparent. But when it rolls down the page, I'm going to have it turn black. That way, if it goes over light sections with my logo and menu, you'll still see them like that. And to do that, really easy. Let's go back. We'll go back. Those are called the fixed navigation settings here. If we go in there, you've got a completely different set of colors from that. So if I was to change that to blue, for instance, now when I scroll down, it goes blue. That's great. Well, I'm going to pop it back to black as it was. When you've made any changes, make sure you hit your publish button. Great. Well, going back to this one, we're going to change the image and the color in the background there. Like I say, the image is in the section, the full width section here. So let's hit the cog and go in there. You will always find background under content. Doesn't matter what module, row or column, background is always under content as our link and admin label. So let's go in there and we can see that this is highlighted. It means we've got an image in the background. Now if you like it, great, leave it. If you don't, just left click on it and we'll load our own crazy image. I think I'll use that fella there. Let's use this guy this time. As you can see, it's popped it in the background there. And you may be thinking, well, you know, why is it so sort of blued out there? Well, let's save this. As I mentioned earlier, the reason that's blued out is this actual module here has got a background color in it. So if you go in the module itself, again, where are you going to find content? Under module. And of course you can edit all your text and things like that within the modules itself. And if there's something that says you can add a button, you can add a little button just like that. And don't forget, if you add a button, you're going to want to take them somewhere, and you can do that in the link down below here. And again, links always under content. Put in your button 1 link, button 2 link. This is a full width module, so you do have option to have more than one button there. And always best practice, if you're linking to your own site, keep it in the same window. If you're linking off site, open it in a new tab. Great. Right, well, we want to see more of this image behind here. And it's the background of this module that's preventing that. So let's go down to background. And when we go into background, you'll see that the gradient's highlighted on this. So if we click on it, it's got a gradient on it. And you can go in there. You can change the color. You can put in whatever color you want. As you can see, that's a lighter blue or purple or whatever you want to put in there. Let's get it on that blue, and I'll get it a little bit darker by pulling the little circle down there. I want it fairly dark, almost a black blue. Now if you want to see more of your image bleed through there and less of the color, this little variegated slider over to the right here, just pull it down. The more you pull it down, the more of that image is going to be revealed behind there. Now that's not too bad. And obviously do the same with this down here. The other color, if you're not happy with it, just go ahead and change it. I'm going to leave mine just like that. Great, so we've got our little header, we've got our logo, we've got some little buttons here. Now obviously if you don't want something, just hit the little trash can, it'll get rid of it for you. I'm going to undo that, Control Z, put it back in there. Now we've got a green tab there. Green tab is for a row. And an orange tab, we've got all kinds of tabs here. Orange tab is for a specialist section. And that's fine there. Now these are all set up as buttons. And again, obviously if you want to edit the text, just put your cursor there. Put in what you want. But as they're buttons, we're going to want to link them somewhere. And again, it's exactly the same. Just go into the actual module, the dark tab. and you know where to find link under the content down here. And it's exactly the same with these other two buttons here. Very easy to set up. Rolling on down, we just got a simple section down below. Blue tab, that's a regular section right there. That's a regular section right there. And again, if you want to change the background, click on it, go down to background, put in whatever you want in your backgrounds here. Now we've also got a module over here with, I hope you can see that, it says services and large writing and what we do. Well, you know how to edit the text, but that services in there, the reason it's different, they've got the services as regular text in there, and what we do, they've got set up as a heading too. Easiest way if you want to change that, I mean you can type it in obviously, but if you want to change the style of it, if you hover over, you'll see two little paint brushes there. Click on it, the first one's going to be for the text settings. It'll take you through straight to it, and we'll click on the other one, and that'll take you straight to the heading text to edit that. Colors, font weight, and actual fonts themselves. Divi has got a phenomenal amount of fonts. The Audition one, just roll over, it'll give you an example right like that. I'm going to leave mine all just as it is. You know how to put text in these little boxes here. You know how to change the background, and it's always going to be under content and then background. As you can see, it's got that color in there. Okay, going on down, we've just got a simple image here. Just click on it, put your own image in there obviously. More buttons, we know how to deal with those. Another section, we know how to put text in there. That's just a little transparent PNG, so it's just an image basically. Rolling on down. Now whether you want to use this as a graphic or a button, that's entirely up to you. But if you want to use it as a button, and you use any module as a button by going in there and just adding a link to it, and you know how to do that, in there, down to link. Fantastic. Great, well, we've got our testimonials here. And again, you know how to edit the text on those. And if you're just starting out, you shouldn't really do this, but if you're just starting out, again, if you want to create some testimonials, you can just go into ChatGPT and say, write however many words you want, testimonial from somebody, and put a fictitious company in there. It's kind of cheating, but when you're starting out, that's okay to do that sort of thing. We've got some more buttons down here, and I'll show you how to link these buttons and things in a moment. And then we've got a contact form and some contact details over here. Well, obviously, you know how to change all those details there. Just go in there, type in your new details there. And if you don't want something, again, just hit it with a little trash can. Okay, the email form itself, well, obviously you want this to send to your email address when they fill it out. So go in there. I'm not going to go too much detail about contact forms, but it comes with all these different fields here, as you can see right here. If you want to edit any of those, just go into it. You can edit its name and the options and things like that. Once you've edited a field, save it and go back to the main. You can put a title in, that's right there. Success message, that's what's going to pop up after they hit that send button. So you can put something like message sent. That's what the button actually says, send messages. Now here's the important part, the email. You want this to be sent to whatever email address it is. So me at my email, whatever your email address is that you want yours sent to. Message patterns, we won't cover that today, but basically if you put 2 percentage signs in, you can decide which fields you want to show and in which order when the actual email comes in by doing that and adding more and more underneath. Like I say, we've covered that in a different video. Don't want to redirect it, want them to stay on the page here. Spam protection, there's none on at the moment. There is an option to use spam protection service such as Google reCAPTCHA. You'd have to have an API key, or you've got a basic captcha. If you turn it on, it'll make them put in a sum before they can actually send the message. I'm going to leave that off as it was. Great, well, we don't need to link it to anywhere, and I'm happy with that background. Great, so you've gone through, you've put in all your details and everything like that, and put things where you want them. Next thing we want to do, we want to create a menu that's going to roll down to these individual sections. Plus, as this is a landing page, I'm going to presume it's a one-page site. So our buttons really want to point down to the individual sections as well. So what we need to do, go to the sections that we want to give a link to, and we'll give them what they call a CSS ID. Now we're going to definitely want to link to this contact at the bottom here. But for this, I could put it in right at the section here, but that'll leave half of the buttons at the top there. It'd be nicer for them to see the buttons. So there's a little section just above it, the orange one. I'm going to do it on that one instead. What I'm going to do is go in, and this is common for all of these sections, over to advanced. Here we'll see CSS ID and classes, and we'll give it a name. I'm just going to call this one contact. You can call it what you want. Make sure it's unique though, and we'll need to remember these in a minute. So this is a contact section we're going to link to, and a testimonial section, so we'll go into that section. Over to advanced, always in advanced, CSS IDs and classes. Make sure you put it in ID and not class. It won't work if you put it in class. Testimonials, I'm just going to call test. What have we got over here? We've got a mission. Let's go to this one. Over to advanced, CSS IDs and classes, and we'll call this mission. Let's skip that one, and we'll skip that one. Well, I guess we could do services with this one. So again, where you want it to go to, and you can use a row or a module as an anchor tag if you want to. You don't have to use a section. I'm just using it because it's taking me where I actually want to go. So over to advanced again, CSS IDs and classes, and we're going to call this one services. Roll on up, and this is kind of an about section. I'll take that one from here. Advanced CSS IDs, I'm going to call mine about. Great, well we've given all our little sections we want to link to a CSS ID now to link to a section. Really easy. Okay, for this free quote button, in fact for all my buttons, I don't think I've got a live chat, so let's just make that chat. So chat to us. To make this little button perhaps go down to the contact form, unless you've got a live chat plugin obviously. I'm going to go down to the link below. In the button link URL, remember we gave our button a CSS ID of contact. All CSS IDs when you're putting the link in have a hashtag in front of them. So it's hashtag and that name, contact. That will now go when they click it down to that contact form at the bottom. And it's the same for any of the other sections you care to link to. So that's how to do a button. And you've got several buttons here, and you can link to anywhere you want using that method. But we want to have a menu up at the top here that links to each of these sections also. To create a menu, go back down to your dashboard, go down to appearance, and then menus. Go over to create a new menu. Give your menu a name. Once you've done that, hit this create menu button. Now by default it may have your pages open here. Let's close this with a little chevron. We're going to be using custom links to do this today. And all we need to do is start putting in the URLs. We started with an about section. It had a CSS ID of about. So that would be hashtag and CSS ID about. What you want it to say, put down below. When you've got that in there, add it to the menu. I'm going to do exactly the same for the other links that we got on the page. I'll pause it. No point you watching me duplicate. Okay, here's my last one. I'm putting it in there. Once you've got them where you want them, you can simply move them up and down if you need to by just left clicking, dragging and dropping. No reason to, but you can make sub items by dragging them to the right and releasing. It says sub item there. If you don't want it as a sub item, drag it back. I'm going to put my contact on the bottom. If we roll down a little bit, we've got where you want it, display location. I want this as my primary menu. So I'm going to check the little checkbox there. That'll put it as my primary menu at the top of the page. When you're happy, hit your little save menu button. It'll tell you it's been updated and saved. We can now go back to our little landing page we got up here. You won't see any difference because it's exactly the same menu. But what we want to do, because we want to set this as the home page, as it's going to be a simple one-page site here. To do that, make sure you've published it once you're happy with it. So we'll hit the publish button. And for anybody that didn't know, if you don't have your little purple buttons expanded there, little purple button there, just click on it, it'll expand to show you your save, draft or publish buttons there. We'll exit the Visual Builder. And there's our little site. Let's make sure it's going to work. We did this button here, chat to us. If we click on it, it's going to roll down to our little contact form here that they can fill out. Let's hit the return to the top there. That's a back to the top button. If you don't see one of those when you go down your site, go back down to your dashboard, go back down to Divi, Theme Options. Again on the General tab, if you roll halfway down the page, or actually a little further than that, they've got back to the top button. Just make sure it's enabled. Once you enable that, you'll always see that button when you scroll a little way down the site. Once you make a change here, make sure you hit your Save Change button there. Great, well that worked fine. What about our menu at the top here? About should go to About. Services should go to Services. Mission to Mission. Testimonials. And our contacts should go just above so that the buttons are visible there. Yeah, fantastic. And there's our little back to the top button again. Great, well let's make this the home page of the site. To do that, go to your customizer. That's where we went before. Let's go back. As we've just published this page, I'm going to need to refresh this. Now let's go down and set it as the home page. I'm going to roll down where it says home page right there, just above additional CSS. Once I click on it, you can select the page that you want to have at home under home page here. Make sure you've got the little radio button set to a static page, not the latest post there. Click on the home page. Roll on down. There's the tech landing. And there it is right there. Once you've selected your page correctly, hit the publish button. Now one other thing I'd like to mention before we're done here is the favicon up here. And that's the little icon that appears in your browser tabs. If you want to update your favicon there, go back to the main customizer, go back to general settings, and here you've got site identity. Inside there you can put a new tagline or site title if you want to. Always a good idea to have a good description of your site. And here you can add a little image. There's my little image we got there. The reason it's dark background, it's a PNG, it's transparent. Just hit the change image and put your own image up there. Make sure that it's at least 512 by 512 pixels width and height. Great, well we should be good to go now. We go back here, let's hit our home link on the logo. And there we are. We've got a perfect little landing page here. So there we go. That's the easiest and quickest way to throw a site together using the Divi theme. Obviously you can build from scratch and make anything you want. That's not a bad little site to make in under sort of 30 minutes or so. I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.